Articulation rhyme. Articulation rhyme. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe for more things. Lesbians. Hey, what's up, you guys? Articulation Prime here doing another DC Collectibles figure review on the DC Comics Designer Series Greg Capullo Batman action figure. Man, I'm stoked for this thing. I really like Greg Capullo's artwork, and they have this whole Greg Capullo Designer Series going on. I think this is awesome, and this is figure number 1 right over here. I picked this figure up at my local comic book shop, Coastside Comics. If you can't find your figures at your local comic shop, you can get a Big Bad Toy Store. Big, big, big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. So as I'd mentioned, we have the Batman written right over here. It says number 1 at the top of the packaging, DC Comics Designer Series Greg Capullo action figure. And on the side, you can see Capullo's artwork over there. And then we have DC Comics Designer Series Greg Capullo Batman action figure, DC Collectibles. You get Batman, Talon, Nightwing, and the Riddler in this wave. The Nightwing and Talon are the 2 other ones I'm really looking forward to. The Riddler, I don't know, but these guys all look like they have really cool articulation. I'm very excited to open this thing. Let's get to it and crack this figure open. So here's a Batman figure out of the packaging, and I gotta say, this is one of my favorite Batman figures in the history of Batman figures in my collection. I absolutely love this figure. I do have some gripes. There's one major gripe that I have with it, but other than that, I really think it's pretty awesome. This is just a very cool looking Batman figure. Really like Greg Capullo's artwork, which this is based off of. Big fan of Haunt. Wish he was still doing Haunt. I don't even know if Haunt is still around anymore. One thing I do want to mention though is the articulation, in this being a DC Direct or a DC Collectibles figure, is that you gotta be careful with these joints. You want to really use 2 hands when you move things around, and you want to do it carefully because these are known to break. I don't think I've heard any issues about this figure specifically breaking very easily, but in general, DC Collectibles are pretty fragile figures. Anyway, let's take a close look at his accessories, and then we'll take a closer look at this awesome figure. So he comes with 3 little Batarangs, and these things are very tiny. I mean, to show over here, what? They're like about a ½ an inch across, something like that. Yeah, so you want to be careful with these. There's my finger so you can see how small they are. But they are very cool. They're made out of a sturdy plastic. Some relatively glossy paint on them also. But nice sculpt, nice design on these. I like them a lot. Looks like one side's a little shinier than the other on this particular Batarang here. Let's see another one. It looks like we're getting shiny and shiny, so maybe it was just that one. But yeah, these are very cool. I like them a lot. You just gotta be careful with them. So as soon as you get the figure, you want to get a Ziploc bag to store them so you don't drop them. You don't spend hours on the floor looking for your Batarang while you're picking up garbage that you should have vacuumed up earlier that week, but you didn't because you're too lazy playing with your action figures. You're supposed to have him hold them in his left hand knuckle right here, and it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, you can see the little gaps. The gap between the thumb and his first finger right over there, and the middle finger and his ring finger. So you want to take the first one, and the Batarangs are all the same exact size. Now you can have them facing either direction if you want. They'll stay either way, but you just want to, you know, wedge these in the slots that they have placed there for them. It's tricky putting these things in there while looking through the viewfinder of my camera, but you get the idea, and they look very cool. I like this a lot. This is a brilliant idea, and you can put them in the other way, so it'll stay just fine putting them in there like that too. It's pretty cool. I really like the head sculpt of this figure, and I like the paint applications too. I've heard some people complain about the mouth area having a little bit of a pinkish hue to it, but I like it. I like how this looks. It doesn't bother me at all. He's got these little cuts right here above his eyebrows that look very cool. He has white paint for the eye sockets over there. I think this is a nice head sculpt. It represents the artwork pretty well, and just in general, it's just a pretty cool looking Batman figure. I really dig this. I like the short horns. And then taking a look at the back of his head over here, this part of the cowl actually feels like it's made out of a soft rubbery material, or the same material that the cape is made out of. Now surprisingly, there's no real paint shading on the figure, but I like how it's sculpted with all these lines going through the suit. Very New 52 accurate. We do get some shading on the belt though, but the gray sections don't have any shading on them. We get that black glossy paint on the Bat logo over there. Same thing with his gauntlets over here, which are very nicely sculpted. You can see the lines sculpted right there, and the gauntlets gauntlets. Their gauntlets are sculpted the same way, but the hands themselves are sculpted differently. They both have these lines over here, but the right side does not have the slots where you can have him hold the Batarangs. I think the musculature on the figure came out very well. The paint detail on the belt is okay. Looks a little spotty, like somebody spilled coffee on it, but it's not bad. Wish we could have used some shading throughout the figure, but I like the sculpt. And I like these bat logos for his kneecaps too. That's pretty neat. And I really like the shiny boots and everything. We have some nice treads sculpted at the bottom of his feet and one peg hole in the right foot. And I really love the sculpting of this cape. This is very, very cool and very unique to a Batman figure. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before in a Batman figure. I really dig it, and it resembles Capullo's artwork too. It's very pliable, very rubbery material. It does have this port that it goes into right here on his back, and you can see the sculpting on the back of the figure, like how you have the seams coming all the way up and everything. But I don't know if this is supposed to stay there or not. It doesn't really bother me though that it does detach over here. I think that's fine. It doesn't bug me at all. But it's pretty cool. I dig this. Very rubbery. I did have some paint come off while removing this from the packaging though. Now I really like the articulation on this figure a lot, but there is just one issue with it, and the Winter Soldier knows what I'm talking about. You know what I mean, Ming. Anyway, the head can move up quite a bit. I think that is very impressive. You can move it down, and he does turn his head side to side, and you get some nice neck pivot in there too. So great head articulation. Very happy to have a Batman figure that can look up that much. It's kind of rare to see that in a Batman figure. Anyway, his arms move outward that much, and you can rotate them forward. He also has a bicep swivel, single jointed elbow. Like I said, you want to use two hands when you move these things, so it bends in that much. Rotates at the forearm over here, and he has wrists that move side to side, and you can bend them up and down. He has an ab crunch that is kind of stiff, but you can bend it forward that much, and oh god, I don't want to break this thing. Okay, I'm not going to bend it back more than that, so it bends back like that. He has a waist swivel over here. He has hip joints that I wish could move out more than this. I feel like if I push anything more than that, it's going to break. He does kick forward and moves back quite a bit too. He has an upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees that bend in very far. I like that. He has boot rotation over here. He has ankles that move downward, they move up, they rotate side to side, and that's it. There's no ankle pivot on this thing. I wish he had the ankle pivot. Why don't you have ankle pivot, man? You would have been the coolest Batman figure ever made if you had the ankle punchy fucking pivot, but there's no ankle pivot. We have a bunch of other DC collectible figures that do have ankle pivot, but nope, not this one. It looks like none of the figures from this wave have ankle pivot. It really bugs me. Why did you take it away, man? Why did you get rid of the ankle pivot? You know we love the ankle pivot. So this being a DC collectibles figure, Batman stands at about 7 inches tall. And here he is next to the Medicom Mafex Batman from the Dark Knight Rises movie, and this right now is my favorite Batman figure. Thank you so much, Devil's Due. And here he is next to the DC Collectibles Arkham Origins Batman figure, another very cool Batman figure that has ankle pivot. You got ankle pivot. Why you got no ankle pivot? Where's your ankle pivot? And here he is next to the DC Collectibles new 52 Joker figure. These work in perfect scale together. And Mattel's DC UC Series 1 classic Batman figure. And of course, the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. And even outside my complaints about the lack of ankle pivot, which you can see looks ridiculous over here, I still really like this figure a lot. He's still very fun to pose. I really like the design of it. Like I said, I really like Greg Capullo's artwork. The book itself, Scott Snyder's doing a fantastic job himself. It's just an amazing book. I need to pick up volume 3. I have the first 2 volumes. But anyway, that's my review, guys. I hope you liked my video. Please hit the like button if you liked the video. Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe. I'll catch you later. Peace.
That's crispy.
Why don't you have ankle pivot?